What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be showing you 5 different clay tables that are going to allow us to leverage clay in more ways than just simple prospecting. The first table over here is going to allow us to reply directly to email threads inside Smart Lead whenever leads are out of office. So what this is actually doing over here, it's checking for the last email reply, and then we're leveraging AI to analyze the email to determine whether there's another person mentioned in that reply. And then from here, we're going to send it over into the next step where we reply from Smart Lead. The next table over here is during the onboarding process. So all we need is the company website, and then we're going to be enriching the leads, our clients with all of the relevant information and then storing it inside our client database like this. This is going to come into play later on as we are creating campaigns, as we can reference all of this information to create campaigns quickly and other stuff as well, right? Next thing we do is we are able to create 10 free email templates as a lead magnet. And this is what it looks like. So we send a document out to any prospects or inside meetings. We're able to say, hey, look at this document over here. It is pre-filled with clay and an automation. And it's super easy for us, but it makes a really strong impression for the potential client. Next thing we do is we enrich all of the positive replies. So whenever leads reply back to us, we enrich them with the LinkedIn information, the website information, the normalized names, and we also find the mobile numbers, and then we send it over to our client like this. So Ed, for example, he might only have like Ed and just the LinkedIn, but we find everything else so that whenever our clients get these leads, they're getting the best and highest quality leads that we can provide. Next thing we do is we are able to validate the email contacts from here. And so why this is relevant is I've got a Drive image over here where someone replied and they said, your best bet is to call Alan. And so when I tried to find Alan, I found Alan from Apollo, but I only found one email. I wanted to validate it, but I couldn't actually validate it because every single provider was doing something wrong. So I actually just created this table over here. And so with Amen, I'm able to leverage all of these different data providers to find the correct work email. And as you can see, there's many of them that came out as wrong. But we also leverage a data validator, right? So in the background, dbounce is validating all of these different emails on our behalf. And so these are all of the different clay tables, and this is how I organize all of them. So every single every single client gets a table. All of this stuff happens during the client onboarding. So when we onboard a brand new client, we create the folder specific to the client, and then we basically add them here. And then from here, we're going to have another folder, which is do not delete. And in the do not delete section, there's this section, which is the business automations. And this is where I store all of these different folders. Let's go into into all of these different tables. Let's go into these tables and let me explain how they work. So this is the first one. It's an out of office one. How this is triggered is by leveraging this automation over here. So we will go ahead and click run, and then we will find someone that's out of office. So actually, we've got one over here. So JD Lipa, she replied with, thank you for your email. I'm currently out of office. You can contact Regan, who's the president, right? So this is Regan's email. And so all we need to do is basically mark the lead category as out of office. And obviously this is happening on our behalf, so we're not actually doing anything. Oh, actually, that's fine. It will still work. Next up, we're going to get that new lead over here, right? So the information is received. We've got Reagan, and we've got all of the information specific to that person. And now we've created a follow-up email. So the follow-up email looks like this. Hey, Reagan, just noticed JD is unavailable. Is this something you can help with, right? We keep it super simple, and I'll be iterating with the actual message, and I can even use AI to analyze the previous replies and come up with something fancy. But for now, this is what I'm going with, and it seems to be working just fine. And then from here, we're going to be sending it to step 2. And by the way, before I do that, you will notice that not every single out of office person has a contact. So we're not actually doing this for every single person. It's just the ones that give us the opportunity to multi-thread. And so this is the second automation over here. We'll run it, and then I'll explain how it works after it runs. So this is JD again. We will refresh for JD. As you can see, this is what it looks like. We have not replied or done anything in particular. Now we will go ahead and click this to run. So I'm doing this manually, but normally it would just automatically go through. And it seems like the reply time, July 31st to 2:07, and then this one 2:07, July 31st 2:07. Oh, you know what I will actually do? I'll do reply time. I will subtract it by 1 minute. So add minutes, reply time, because it's basically what this is actually a good sign, right? What this is actually doing is it's preventing us from replying to leads who have already replied back to us. But the problem is obviously that it's oh, actually, you know what? I don't even need to do anything fancy. I could just do later than. So right now it's later than or equal to. I'll just do later than and then leave it at that. I don't need to do anything fancy. Okay, so something just happened. Okay, we'll do later than. That's really all it's doing, which is a good thing, right? So we don't actually want to send an email to someone who responded. So we'll run it again. We will go back to the table. We will run it now, and it's going to come through. And this time around, it's going to send the email. And when we refresh the page, for JD, we see, hey Regan, just noticed JD is unavailable. Is this something that you can help with, right? And this is obviously like being done at scale automatically. We're not doing anything. We're multi-threading, so it's super awesome. And as you can see, we've CC'd Regan over here. So perfect. And by the way, before we proceed, I want to mention that when we are getting the last reply, we're getting the history and the data like this. So analyze 1, right? So this is 1. The reply time was July 15th, right? And then on number 3, the reply time was July 31st. So we actually reverse the data over here so that we can see that the reply, the one that we're looking at is the latest one. And why this is important is because by sending the email, we're leveraging this URL endpoint and this request content over here. The reply message ID, we want it to be the very last one so that we're actually responding correctly. And so this is the first table. That's how it works. Out of office messages. Oh, she responded again, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, next table is this one, right? So this one is with the client onboarding process. So when we onboard a client, we basically just have to fill up information. So this, we're just going to put the client name, and then we're going to input a bunch of data for that specific client. But in particular, the main one we're looking for is the website. So once we have the website, we're going to send the information over into this clay table, right? So for example, if I were to onboard fireflies.ai, it would start running, right? So it's going to analyze the website. So we've already found fireflies with this LinkedIn enrichment over here simply from the website, but we're also searching the actual website in addition to this so that we have as many hit points as possible. For example, when we look at Afonto.com, when we searched the website, we were not able to find the LinkedIn URL. And when we used the, actually probably worth clicking on this. So when we click on it, you're able to see that we're leveraging the Clayagent one. And when we click on this second one, we're leveraging the company website. All of this is super, super relevant because as you can see for Team Epic over here, when we tried to use Team Epic, the website, we were not able to find it. But when we searched the actual teamepic.ai website, we found the LinkedIn profile. So that's why we're doing these double triggers, right? And then the next thing is we use Clayagent to analyze the content of the website so that we can do research on it. But in addition to that, we're grabbing the description from the LinkedIn and then we're merging that, right? So like this, for example, is a merge column, right? So it analyzes both descriptions and merges them together. And then inside our chat GPT prompts, it's basically just saying like, hey, combine these two together. So rewrite these descriptions into one description. And that's it. So we're basically using as many options as possible to merge the data together so that we get the most accurate and precise information that we possibly can. And then once we've determined all of that, we send it over into ClickUp. And obviously this did not send because we don't have a ClickUp ID. And that's it, right? And so now once it's inside here and we have all of the specific information of that specific client, we can now start to create campaigns leveraging AI and do it really quickly. And by the way, as we're onboarding clients, we take them through all of these different steps. One of the steps is modify company overview. So this is AI generated, of course, but after a certain point, so modify company overview, we're going to be manually reading this to see like, okay, is this true? And by this point in time, we will have spoken with the client. We'll have done some like campaigns. So we'll have like a good understanding of things that can be added or removed. So this is great. Next table. Next table is this one over here, which is creating 10 free email templates. Same idea as the one that you just saw. We get simply a company website, we enrich it in different ways, and then we basically try to get information on the client to create the email campaigns. And so like, for example, when we are creating an email, we're basically going to leverage a prompt that looks something like this, which is analyze the content of these pain points, analyze these pain points, right? So we're using 2 data points to get as accurate information as possible. And then using these pain points, create a poke the bear question. And then we just want to do this process 10 times over so that we get 10 emails. And then we leverage a different automation that duplicates Google Doc, similar to this, with the company logo, with all of the like upfluence over here, with anything, right? Like we've done it twice, and I'm actually going to be refining this process a little bit more. We're also going to be able to do research on the existing domains that exist so that the person knows like, hey, these are some 10 domains that could be a good fit. And this is what the email looks like. Hey, first name, how are you managing influencer ROI without comprehensive data-driven approach? We can help you manage influencer ROI with a data-driven. Anyways, perfect. Yes, no, who knows? This is still being refined and it's going to go live in a few weeks. Next up is enriching positive replies. So this is whenever a lead is marked as closed and transferred. So these are all the lead categories that I leverage. When one of them is done closed and transferred, this means I'm sending it over to the client, and the client is going to be receiving an email like this. It's directed directly to them. And when we go into this one over here, it's basically grabbing the basic contact of the person and then just leveraging Clay to find their website, their company name. We also use a waterfall mobile number enrichment, and then we do the same thing by sending it over into ClickUp via webhook. Last one is this one. Extremely simple. All of these, like, you're getting the gist, right? We put in a few data points, which is usually just a website, and then we get something out of here. The trigger for this one is going to be like a form. So like instead of me going to like Apollo or Prospeo or Hunter or any of these tools, I just have a form that inputs the full name, the company domain, and then it comes in here. And then that form is going to output the actual validated email, ensuring that when I receive vague emails like this, hey, your best bet is to call Eamon, like, now I'm not spending 5, 10, 15 minutes trying to find Eamon's contact information. I just grab Eamon, literally just the first name, and then I grab the domain over here, plop it in that form, and then this. In fact, I should have I think that Enrich is the full name as well. I'll add that after this. And then it's going to just give me the correct... Actually, I don't even need the full name. Anyways, that's besides the point. That is the video. Hope you guys found this useful. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Bye.